Tonight, I want to share with you something that will revolutionize your entire understanding of wealth. You see, my friends, we've been living under a grand illusion. From the cradle to the grave, we're taught that money is something out there, something we must chase, fight for, and earn through blood, sweat, and tears. But what if I told you this very belief is the prison that keeps you poor? I remember a man who came to me, absolutely desperate. He said, "Neville, I work 16 hours a day. I've read every financial book. I've tried every investment strategy, yet I'm still drowning in debt. What am I doing wrong?" And I said to him what I'm saying to you now. You're trying to get from the outside what can only come from within. This man had fallen victim to the greatest lie ever told about money, that it comes from effort alone. But effort without the proper state of consciousness is like rowing against the tide. You exhaust yourself while making little progress. Listen carefully to this truth. Money is not a thing. It is a reflection. It reflects, with perfect accuracy, your inner conviction about your own worth. You think you're poor because you lack money. But the truth is far more profound. You lack money because you feel poor within yourself. The external world is nothing but a mirror, showing you exactly what you believe about yourself deep down. Every morning when you wake up, you're either reinforcing poverty consciousness or wealth consciousness. There is no neutral ground. You're always assuming something about yourself in relation to money. But here's where it gets interesting. There was once a manuscript written by a man who lost everything in a financial collapse. But instead of trying to rebuild his fortune through conventional means, he did something extraordinary. He spent 7 years studying not the mechanics of money, but its spiritual nature. What he discovered was so revolutionary that those who first read it tried to keep it secret. They realized this knowledge was too powerful to share freely. But tonight, I'm sharing it with you. This man discovered that money obeys the same laws as everything else in creation. It responds to consciousness, to assumption, to the feeling of already having what you desire. The first law this man discovered is this. Money flows to those who assume they are wealthy, not to those who work to become wealthy. Let me explain what I mean by assume. When I say assume, I don't mean pretend or hope or wish. I mean to take for granted as true, to live from the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Most people live from their current circumstances. They look at their bank account and say, "I am poor." Then they try to work their way out of poverty. But this approach guarantees failure because they're creating from poverty consciousness. You see, when you assume you are poor, you think poor thoughts, make poor decisions, and radiate poor energy. The world responds accordingly. But what if you dared to reverse this process? Here's what the truly wealthy understand. You must first become wealthy in consciousness before you can have wealth in your bank account. This isn't positive thinking or visualization. This is a complete reversal of how you approach reality itself. Instead of saying, "I'll be happy when I'm rich," you must learn to say, "I am rich, therefore I am happy." Can you feel the difference in these two statements? The first keeps wealth perpetually in the future. The second brings it into the present moment, where all power exists. Now, let me teach you something crucial about cultivating the feeling of wealth. This is not about pretending you have money when you don't. This is about capturing the essence of what it feels like to be a wealthy person. Close your eyes and remember a time, any time, when you felt completely secure financially. Perhaps it was when you received an unexpected check, or when you had just been paid and all your bills were covered. Do you remember that feeling of relief, of breathing easily? That is the feeling we want to cultivate and expand. But let me go deeper. Wealth isn't just about having money. It's about having a particular relationship with money. A wealthy person doesn't worry about money. They don't check their account balance with anxiety. They don't make decisions from fear of loss. Instead, they operate from a fundamental assumption of sufficiency. They know they're absolutely sure that there will always be enough. Now, I want you to do something with me. Close your eyes, if you're in a safe place to do so. Imagine you're checking your bank account right now, and instead of that familiar knot of anxiety in your stomach, you feel calm, satisfaction. Not excitement, not surprise, just the quiet confidence of someone who has always had enough. How would you walk differently? How would you speak to people? What decisions would you make from this state of consciousness? Notice how a wealthy person enters a room. They don't apologize for their presence. They don't shrink or make themselves small. There's a natural dignity, a quiet authority that comes from inner security. This feeling, this is your true nature. The struggle is the aberration. But before we can fully embrace wealth consciousness, we must understand how deeply poverty programming runs in our society. We're bombarded with beliefs that poison our relationship with money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard for everything. There's not enough to go around. Money is the root of all evil. These statements, repeated millions of times, become the invisible bars of our financial prison. But here's what you must understand. Every single one of these beliefs is a lie. Money is energy. It's neither good nor evil. It simply flows toward those who are in harmony with its nature. Here's something that will shock you. The people who struggle hardest for money are often the ones who repel it most effectively. Why? Because struggle implies lack. When you struggle for something, you're affirming that you don't have it. And the universe, which is nothing but consciousness itself, responds to your assumption of lack by giving you more experiences of lacking. I once knew a woman who worked 3 jobs and still couldn't make ends meet. She would say, "I have to work so hard just to survive." And the universe, being the perfect mirror, said, "Yes, you do," and arranged circumstances to make this true. But listen to this carefully. A truly wealthy man once told me his secret. He said, "Neville, I never work for money. I work from money. I assume I already have everything I need, and then I act from that assumption." Do you see the difference? Working for money assumes you don't have it. Working for money assumes you do. This shift in assumption changes everything. Your decisions, your opportunities, your very presence in the world. When you work from money, you make different choices. You invest in yourself. You take calculated risks. You don't accept less than your worth. You operate from abundance, not scarcity. One of the most powerful ways to transform your wealth consciousness is to change your language about money. Your words are not just sounds. They are creative forces that shape your reality. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, "How can I afford it?" Money is tight. Say, "Money is flowing." I'm broke. Say, "I'm rebuilding my wealth." I'll never have enough. Say, "There's always enough for what I truly need." Rich people are lucky. Say, "Wealth is a natural result of right thinking." Notice how different these statements feel in your body. The first set creates contraction, anxiety, limitation. The second set creates expansion, possibility, hope. Your subconscious mind is listening to every word you say about money. It takes your statements as commands and works to make them true. Now, let me share with you the fundamental mindset shifts that separate the wealthy from the poor. Number 1, shifting from scarcity to abundance. Poor people believe there's not enough to go around. Rich people know that abundance is the natural state of the universe. Number 2, shifting from earning to receiving. Poor people think they must earn everything through effort. Wealthy people understand that the universe is always trying to give them what they need. Number 3, shifting from fear to faith. Poor people make decisions based on what they might lose. Rich people make decisions based on what they might gain. And number 4, shifting from victim to creator. Poor people blame circumstances for their financial situation. Wealthy people take responsibility for creating their reality. Now, let me share with you a practical method, a 7-day process that can fundamentally alter your relationship with wealth. Day 1, be the observer. Observe without judgment every thought and feeling you have about money. Don't change anything, just watch. Notice how often you think about lack versus abundance. Notice the emotions that arise when you think about money. This awareness is the first step to transformation. Day 2, be the linguist. Begin to notice the language you use about money. Stop saying, "I can't afford it," and start asking, "How can I afford this?" Replace every limiting statement with an empowering one. Your words are spells. Cast them wisely. Day 3, be the wealthy person. Practice the feeling of wealth for just 10 minutes. Sit quietly and assume you already have everything you desire. Don't visualize. Feel it. Feel the security, the freedom, the possibilities that wealth brings. Day 4. Be the decision maker. Make one decision from abundance rather than scarcity. No matter how small. Maybe it's buying the more expensive food instead of the cheaper option. Maybe it's investing in a course that could improve your skills. Act as a wealthy person would act. Day 5. Be the giver. Give something away, time, money, or attention, from a feeling of having plenty. Wealthy people are natural givers because they know there's always more where that came from. Day 6. Be the self-honorer. Treat yourself as someone wealthy would treat themselves, within your current means. Maybe it's taking yourself to a nice restaurant, or buying yourself flowers, or getting a massage. Honor yourself as valuable. Day 7. Be the new identity. Live the entire day as if your financial problems were already solved. How would you walk? How would you talk? What would you focus on? Embody this new identity completely. Let me teach you a specific meditation technique that will reprogram your subconscious for wealth. I call it the Millionaire's Mind Meditation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Now imagine you're waking up in your ideal home, a home that reflects your wealth. Feel the quality of the sheets, the spaciousness of the room, the morning light streaming through expensive windows. You check your investment portfolio. Instead of anxiety, you feel satisfaction at the steady growth of your wealth. You go to your closet, filled with beautiful, high-quality clothes. You dress not from necessity, but from choice. You go to breakfast and don't look at prices on the menu. You order what you want, because money is not a constraint. Throughout this meditation, focus on the feeling more than the details. The feeling of security, of having choices, of not worrying about money. Practice this meditation daily, and you'll begin to reprogram your subconscious mind to expect wealth rather than struggle. Now here's perhaps the most important thing I'll tell you tonight. Wealth flows to those who know how to receive, not to those who know how to struggle. We've been programmed to believe that anything of value must be earned through suffering. But this is the thinking of slaves, not kings. A king doesn't struggle for his wealth. He assumes it. He doesn't chase money. He attracts it through his very being. But here's what most people don't understand about receiving. It's an active state, not a passive one. To receive wealth, you must open yourself to it. You must expect it. You must believe you deserve it. Many people push away wealth because deep down they don't feel worthy of it. They sabotage opportunities because they believe they don't deserve success. Understand this. Your true identity is unlimited abundance. The question isn't, how do I get rich? The question is, who do I assume myself to be? Are you someone who struggles for every penny, or are you someone who naturally attracts abundance? Your current bank account reflects your answer to this question with mathematical precision. But here's the beautiful truth. You can change your identity in this moment. You don't have to wait for external circumstances to change. You can decide right now to be a wealthy person who temporarily has limited funds rather than a poor person trying to get rich. Let me teach you how to think like a millionaire. Even if you currently have $10 to your name, a millionaire wakes up in the morning with a fundamental assumption. I am the kind of person who has more than enough. They don't hope for this. They know it. They don't work toward this. They work from this assumption. When making decisions, they don't operate from fear of loss. They operate from expectation of gain. They don't count their money obsessively. They invest it, multiply it, use it as a tool for creating more value in the world. They don't see other wealthy people as competition. They see them as confirmation that wealth is possible. This is not about the money in their account. This is about the consciousness they embody. And here's something profound that happens when you truly embody wealth consciousness. Your desires transform. You stop wanting money for its own sake and start seeing it as a tool for expression and service. A person operating from poverty consciousness wants money to solve their problems, to make them feel secure, to prove their worth. A person operating from wealth consciousness wants money to express their vision, to serve others, to create beauty and value in the world. This shift in the nature of your desire completely changes your relationship with money. It transforms money from something you need to something you use. And now, the greatest secret of all. You don't become wealthy by accumulating money. You become wealthy by assuming wealth. The money is simply the inevitable reflection of your assumption. This is why lottery winners often lose their fortunes. They have money, but lack wealth consciousness. And this is why some people can start with nothing and build empires. They have wealth consciousness regardless of their circumstances. Wealth consciousness is a state of being, not a bank balance. It's a way of thinking, feeling, and moving through the world. It's an assumption about your own value and your relationship to universal abundance. When you truly understand these principles, something miraculous happens. Financial anxiety dies, not because your problems are solved, but because you realize you have the power to solve them. You stop checking your bank balance with fear and start checking it with curiosity. You stop worrying about bills and start planning for abundance. You stop living from paycheck to paycheck and start thinking in terms of wealth accumulation. This isn't denial or fantasy. This is a fundamental shift in consciousness that changes everything. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to make this declaration, not as a hope or a wish, but as a recognition of truth. I am the kind of person who has more than enough. Money flows to me easily and naturally, because this is my true nature. I no longer struggle for abundance. I simply assume it. I release all limiting beliefs about money. I reject the programming of scarcity. I choose to live from wealth consciousness, regardless of my current circumstances. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am naturally abundant. This is who I am. And if you're truly serious about transforming your relationship with money, I challenge you to live from wealth consciousness for the next 30 days, regardless of your circumstances. For 30 days, make every decision as a wealthy person would make it. Speak about money only in positive terms. Assume that prosperity is your natural state. Don't wait for evidence. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for your bank account to change. Start now, in this moment, with the consciousness you choose to embody. When you transform your relationship with money, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you. Your children will absorb wealth consciousness instead of poverty programming. Your friends will be inspired by your transformation. Your community will benefit from your prosperity. You become a living example that abundance is possible, that struggle is not necessary, that wealth is a birthright, not a privilege. You have a choice to make tonight. You can continue living from your current circumstances, looking at what is and saying, "This is who I am." Or you can dare to live from your imagination, feeling what it would be like to be the person you want to be, and letting that feeling guide you into a new reality. The choice is yours. But remember, whatever you assume to be true about yourself will inevitably manifest in your world. Assume wealth, and wealth will come. Assume struggle, and struggle will persist. The power has always been within you. Tonight, you simply remember how to use it. Money, my friends, is not your enemy. It's not scarce. It's not hard to get. Money is simply a symbol of your assumption about your own worth, your own value, your own deserving. Change the assumption, and you change the symbol. Live from the feeling of already having what you desire, and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your assumption. This is the law. This is the way. This is your inheritance. The universe is abundant beyond your wildest dreams. There is enough for everyone. There is enough for you. Stop fighting for crumbs when you could be feasting at the banquet of life. Stop begging for prosperity when you could be claiming your birthright. Stop living as a victim of circumstances when you could be living as the creator of your reality. Tonight, you choose. Tonight, you decide. Tonight, you assume your true identity as a naturally prosperous being. Claim it, live it, be it. The kingdom of heaven, which is wealth consciousness, is within you. It always has been. You need only recognize it, embrace it, and live from it. Your wealth is not coming to you. Your wealth is you. Remember this, and you will never be poor again.